everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm here with an updated makeup inventory. It's actually the 6th inventory that I've done on my channel. I like to do these videos every 6 months just so I can kind of see how my collection has changed. Really the goal with doing makeup inventories is just for me to make sure that my collection is actually kind of shrinking over time. That's really my goal with this. So I have everything laid out on my bed. I find that's kind of the best way to do my inventories. That way I can actually show you the items that I have and kind of go category by category. So for my makeup inventories, I do include all my makeup items. I include makeup samples. And then if you can see at the end of my bed, I have like all of my nail polishes, which I include in this inventory, as well as my perfumes. So I will get started with the first category, and I'll be comparing my numbers to the last inventory that I did back in October, like 6 months ago. So starting with my first category, which is my primers. Currently I have 3, and previously I had 4. So this is a category this year I really want to work through all of my primers. So you can see I just have a few little deluxe sizes. So I definitely want to work through all my primers as well as my little like primer foil packets as well, and then just kind of have one full-size one. So that's my first category. Second category is foundation. So currently I just have one. It's just the Makeup Forever. And previously I had 3. So this category I'm doing better with. And yeah, really I just need like one foundation at a time. So I'm happy with this category. Next, I have my Tinted Moisturizers and BB Creams. Currently, I just have the one from Bobbi Brown, and previously I just had one as well. So that category hasn't changed. Next, I have concealers. Currently, I have 2, and previously I had 2. So that's kind of ideal. I have the one from NARS, the Radiant Creamy Concealer, and then the I'm a Concealer is one from Mimi Box. Next category is powders, or like kind of face pressed powders. So currently I have 3, and previously I had 2. And this one from Becca is actually, I'm almost finished with it. So I recently purchased this one from Physicians Formula, which is like, actually has SPF in it. So I was kind of looking for an SPF powder. So ideally I'd only want 2 powders, but currently I just have the 3. But I'm almost finished with the Becca one. The next category is highlighters. So for this category, I have 4 currently, and previously I have 4. So this category really hasn't changed. Next, I have my finishing powders, which I consider my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Ethereal Light to be like a finishing powder versus like a highlighter. So currently, I just have the 1, and previously I had 1. Moving on to blushes, I have my cream blushes in one category. So currently I have 4, and previously I had 3. So this category has grown. I did get this one over the holidays from Josie Maran. These 2 from Josie Maran I'm trying to use up this year. So hopefully this category will, maybe not by my next inventory, but slowly, hopefully this category will shrink a little bit. So that's my cream blushes. Then moving on to powder blushes. Currently I have 3, and previously I had 4. So I did declutter 1 blush from my powder blushes. So that category has shrunk just a little bit. Then my blush palette, I have it its own category. Previously I had 1, currently I have 1, so this category hasn't changed. Then for my makeup setting sprays, currently I just have the 1 from Urban Decay, and previously I just had 1 as well. So that category, the numbers have stayed the same. Then for eyeshadow primers, currently I just have the 1. I really only need the 1. I love the one from NARS. So I just have the 1 currently. Previously I did have 2. I had another one from NARS, and I had this one sitting as like a backup. But currently just have 1, so happy with that. Then for my cream eyeshadows, previously I had 3, and now I'm just down to 2, so really happy with that. My next category is my single eyeshadows. Now, I have some stuff that's not technically an eyeshadow, like the Balm Mary Luminizer really is a highlighter, but these are like just little samples that are so small, so I just use these as an eyeshadow. They're perfect eyeshadow size. So I count those as eyeshadow. And something else I'm doing this time is currently in my Z palette, I only have 4 shades. Previously, I counted my Z palette as like a palette, but now I've decided just to count these as singles, because really they are singles. They're like kind of depotted singles, or they're depotted from other palettes. So I decided just to count those separately. So I went back through my old inventory and kind of counted out what I had in my Z palette and added those as singles for comparison purposes. So currently for single eyeshadows, I have 10. And previously I have had 18, so I did declutter some of my singles, mainly stuff from my Z palette. So that category has gone down. For my quad eyeshadow palettes, currently I just have one from Kiko, and previously I just had the one. So that category has stayed the same. For my larger eyeshadow palettes, so I include my Naked 2 Basics in this category. Kind of anything that's more than a quad I include in this category. So currently I have 6 eyeshadow palettes, and previously I had 7. So I did declutter one, actually gave it to my mom. It was the Tarte Natural Eyes palette that I decluttered. That was in one of my videos a few months ago. But that category has gone down slightly. Then for my eyeliners, currently I have 6, and previously I had 6. 3 of them are black liners, and then 3 are other colors. So I think I used up one since my last inventory, and then I got one, this Urban Decay one in Mushroom I got at the Sephora VIP sale. So that category has remained the same. Next for my brow products, currently I have 2, and previously I had 2, so that category has stayed the same. Same with my mascaras. Currently I have 2. Previously I have 2. So I'm almost finished with the Urban Decay Perversion one, and I recently bought a backup, the CoverGirl Supersizer. So once I'm finished with the Urban Decay one, then I'll start using the CoverGirl one. Ideally for mascaras, I would just want 1, but sometimes I might have 2 on hand, like 1 for the backup purposes. So that category hasn't changed. Then moving on to my lip products, I have them all kind of separated into different categories. So the first category is like my lip balms, like anything like a clear lip product. So currently I just have 3, and previously I had 4, so that category has shrunken slightly. Then moving back to the next row, I have like my lipsticks, or kind of my tinted lip products or lipsticks, anything that's not clear, anything that's not a gloss. So in this category I have 15 items, and previously I had 15 items. So I have used up some lip products since my last inventory, but I have gotten some new ones as well. So that category has remained the same. And then my final makeup category is lip glosses. And currently I have 9 lip glosses, and I previously had 10. So that's the same as with my lipstick category. I have used some things up, but I have gotten some new things as well. So that category has decreased slightly. So yeah, so I will step back. So for all my makeup items, currently in total I have 81 items. And previously, my last inventory, I had 95 items. And if you're comparing that to my last video, the number has gone up slightly from my last video because I recounted my Z palette eyeshadows. So overall, I'm really happy my number has gone down. A lot of that was because I decluttered some of my Z palette eyeshadows. But I've decluttered some items. I've used up some items with my Project 10 pan. So overall, I'm happy with where my numbers stand. And that's really my goal with all of these inventories, is my numbers just go down every time. So happy with where I currently am. There's definitely some stuff I still want to kind of get through, and some categories that I would like to see be a little bit lower in the numbers. But overall, I'm happy at this point. So moving on from the makeup, or I guess I have one more makeup related thing to discuss, and that's my makeup samples. So currently I have 10, and that's something I'm really trying to work through this year, is all my samples. A lot of these are like foundation primer samples. I think most of them are primer samples, like 9 out of 10 of them. And the one on top, the Urban Decay little eyeshadow primer, that one I'm currently working on is in the Sin formula. But that's like my one makeup primer sample. But anyway, I have 10 currently, and previously I had 13. Then moving on to perfumes. So for full-size perfumes, currently I have 2, and previously I had 3, so I did go through one of them. For my roller balls, currently I have 5. Previously I did have 4. I recently, it was like in January, I got the Chloe with like a gift card, or it was one of those Sephora favorites kits that I got for Christmas, so I redeemed it to get the Chloe roller ball. So that category has grown a little bit. And then for my deluxe sizes, currently I just have 5, and that's the same as last time. I had 5 as well last time, my last inventory. And then for my perfume samples, currently I have 24, and previously I had 28. So I am trying to work through those. That's kind of my whole like work through my samples this year, so these are included in that. Perfume samples I feel like are like the easy, or like the most common sort of sample that you get. So I feel like that you use stuff up, you get more, so that number always seems to be pretty high. But currently I just have 24. And then finally I have my nail polish all kind of lined up at the end of my bed. So for this category, I will quickly mention my top coat and base coat. I have one of each of those, and that hasn't changed from last time. I just really need one of each of those. And then for my colored nail polish, which you can see, currently I counted them. I have 42 colored nail polishes. Previously I had 49, so I did also in the past few months do a nail polish declutter, so that is where my numbers have kind of gone down. So anyway, that is my entire inventory. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.